Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Women's Wellbeing Conversation. We are the Women's Health Clinic, and we've started this podcast / short video style content to really get women's health out there. We have nurses who specialize in different parts of women's health, and we'll be bringing on guests to talk more of it. Women's health is something that's growing as conversations and as services out there, and we really want to be on the forefront of getting word out there. Now, in honor of World Mental Health Day, we have our short episode today based on mental health. And joining me is Jill Crow, the Director of Relationships at the Women's Health Clinic. Mental health is such a special topic to her. So take it away, Jill.
Thank you. Glad to be having this conversation today with everybody. It's one of those subjects that so many women live through quietly, but very many openly talk about until it comes to a crisis point. So I'm glad we're having this conversation. I've supported family, friends, colleagues, people who have come into contact through work who do require support. And I also provide training on mental health as part of my education job as well. One of the big questions that is asked out there is, how's a woman's physical health and mental health connected? And they're completely intertwined. What happens on the inside of our body happens on the outside of our body. And it ripples in how we focus on how we think, our physical health. And when our hormones shift or when our energy and sleep change, our mood changes too. And so does our energy levels. During perimenopause, you might start seeing small notices such as fatigue, lack of sleep, being irritable for no reason at all. That brain fog when you're in the middle of a conversation and you actually forget what you're saying. And it can make you feel quite frustrated. And again, experiencing that myself. The reason I am so passionate about women's health is my own experiences and seeing women suffer within the working environment as well, and family and friends. You think to yourself, what's wrong? What is wrong with me? When actually it's a very normal biological process influencing physical and mental well-being. And the reverse is true as well. When we feel emotionally low or anxious, it can physically affect your blood pressure, your hair can fall out, you get muscle tension, aches, pains, and you can also get poor gut digestion. And a bad gut can really make you feel unwell. It's like the head and the body having an argument between themselves. Your body's saying, this isn't me, this isn't me. The head's saying, this isn't me, this isn't me. The head is saying, this is not me, this is not me, and in denial of what is physically happening to them. So, for instance, my own personal experiences, I'm happy to share. I was a little boy and I was 42 and didn't recognise at the time I was perimenopausal and thought I didn't have the energy or the motivation for my little boy that I thought I should have, when in actual fact, my hormone changes was making me feel like that, but I was self-blame for myself. And what we do, we condition to push through at times. And no woman should ever have to just push through or accept it's just my hormones. You know, it's a phrase that is often, women out there will recognise, oh, she's hormonal, oh, it's just her hormones. And it's sort of joked about a little bit. Well, actually, going through it, hormones have a massive effect. And they aren't just hormones. They can be detrimental to your life, your well-being and your mental well-being. If we ignore it and we don't address it, then it can have a serious impact on mental health and physical health.
Just touching on that, why is it that when women come to us, I mean, you've seen it in clinic as well, why is it that they reach the point of burnout without realising it?
Because what they've done is they've come to a point where they've been in a rut. That word, they've been in a rut, they've accepted. And it's these invisible loads, isn't it? Life loads. You work, you're washing in, you make the tea. You're thinking about what made the tea. You've got a really busy career. but then you've got a home life. And you think, oh, some little aches and pains was because I didn't sleep very well last night, or yeah, I'm forgetting what I'm saying because I'm so tired. And they become normalized. So this burnout becomes normalized until it comes to a point of a breaking point or a crisis, or whereby your trigger's affected. Now, when I say that in your trigger's affected, is again, I like bringing in my own personal experiences so I can explain and make it clear in what I'm saying. My trigger's my little boy. Anything that affects my time or my energy levels or drains me of energy for my time with my little boy is my trigger. Someone else's trigger could be your own personal space. Anyone else's trigger could be, well, that's affect my work and I really love my job and I can't function with my job. The ladies that we get into our clinic, in our menopause clinic, many will come with a trigger. I've come to you now because I can't do my job. I'm not functioning at home. It's affecting me caring for my elderly parents. There is always a trigger. I have found personally, and with the ladies who come into the menopause assessment clinic, virtual assessment clinic, that there's a trigger. And that trigger's been clicked on, that they've said, that's enough. And that is the burnout point.
I was gonna say, like, women are notoriously known for always putting others above themselves, whether you're a mum or a wife, care of some sort. So it really is about finding that way or boundary of putting yourself first to be able to help those around you.
Yeah. So in doing so, you're right there. And I've met countless women who come to me at work, school mums, family, friends, and I can see that they're not okay, but they'll say, I'm fine, I'm really busy. They stand there yawning, and I say, I've got to go because I'm at dancing club with the youngest, or I've got to get back home because I've got to go to work. I've got to go meditate. I've got to be, always got to be doing something. But they'll say, I'm fine. If I've ever approached anyone and said, are you okay? You look a little bit tired. I'm okay, I'm fine. And that happens with the ladies that come into our clinic, is in that they say, oh, I'm fine, but there's just this one thing. And that one thing, like I say, the trigger, something's triggered for that call. They're not fine. They're exhausted, they're anxious. And in a lot of the time is disconnected. And that is the space that I got, that I was detached and disconnected, which then demotivated me to actually want to do some things. And I wanted to do something. I didn't want to have to do something. And that is the bottom line with lots of women, is they're doing things because they have to, not because they want to. And it shouldn't be that. It should be a woman's hormones levels should be fluctuated to put in a position where their mood and their motivation is where they want to do something, not because they have to do something. No one's weak. And a lot of women come in and say, I'm just exhausted. I just feel weak. I feel like a failure. It's not that. They've just never, ever found their coping mechanism. They have never found their boundaries. They've never had self-love. And mainly, they've never taken action to speak to a professional, whether it be, if it was perimenopause, menopause nurse, GP, talking therapies. They've never took that time out to say, halt, I need to sort myself out. Because if you're not self-aware and you don't recognise your own boundaries and limitations, how can you be there for anyone else? But we still continue to be there for everyone else.
So how would you describe that feedback loop between hormones and emotions?
So basically, hormones and emotions are a circle, they're cyclical. When hormones fluctuate, say estrogen, progesterone levels drop, that can cause symptoms, physical symptoms, such as dry skin, thinning of the hair, sensitivities, drop in libido, interrupted sleep. And one thing which is a big topic that is the taboo subject is vaginal dryness. vaginal atrophy, where the estrogen's dropped to a level that it's causing vaginal dryness. It's a subject that doesn't get talked about very often, but this is the right forum for ladies out there to reassure you that this is part of the cycle of perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, in that vaginal dryness is treatable. There's no need to suffer. It can be debilitating to the point of burning sensations when passing urine, unable to pass urine because of the pain, because of the dryness. And in some instances where it's quite severe, vaginal tissue actually splits and bleeds. And nobody in this day and age should have to suffer like that. And this is where the Women's Health Clinic, this could be discussed with the menopause nurse specialist, or an assessment for our new vaginal rejuvenation laser treatment, which is a treatment to produce collagen in the vaginal area to put moisture back in the vagina.
Let's talk about that. The changes around menopause and particularly vaginal health. Do you think many women find that hard to discuss?
I think it's an era. It's an era thing. I think if you haven't been brought up in an environment where you openly discussed intimacy, that could stop you. It could be admittance, it could be in denial. It could be that you don't want to admit that your body's changing like this. You don't want to admit at 45-year-old that you've got vaginal dryness because of the stereotype and the stigma of, oh, well, that's historically that is associated with when you get older. A woman in their 40s now is not old, not older. And I think, and that one is denial, admittance that some ladies might not want to be going through. And I get many ladies coming through saying, this can't be happening to me yet. This can't be happening to me. I'm only in my early 40s. I'm only in my late 30s. I can't be perimenopausal yet and be experiencing this vaginal dryness. And I think it's an education and awareness to boast. And I don't think it's discussed openly because there's been an element of embarrassment and it shouldn't be. And at the end, perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, no matter what, you are going to go through it. It's something in life that a woman is going to go through. And one of the outcomes of that is, and speaking openly, vaginal dryness, vaginal atrophy. I've had ladies come to me in their 60s, 70s, had bereavement of partners, been divorced after lots of years, and they're wanting to start ready to start a new relationship. And because of the vaginal dryness, the vaginal laxity, their mental health state is so low because their confidence and self-esteem is non-existent, because they look at their vagina, they feel their vagina, and they don't feel confident to go out there and build a new relationship. And there's no age restriction on when you can start a new relationship. No age restriction. There's no age restriction to tell you when you have to not have intercourse. And why should the outcome of a life event, menopause, perimenopause, postmenopause, affect you having a healthy, intimate relationship and future? It shouldn't at any age at all. And this is where we have that open forum, that open conversation, a very confidential, intimate and in-depth discussion with our ladies around these intimate issues, and to tell them it's fine, there is a resolution. If you think of someone who's low mood, anxiety, paranoia, and they've got vaginal laxity or they've got vaginal atrophy, the impact on your mental health, even just one of them factors, is quite immense. So when you've got a lady coming in with multiple vaginal wellness issues and perimenopausal issues, menopausal and postmenopausal, can you see the impact of how that can have on one's mental health? It's huge.
So, Jill, You did touch upon stress and burnout, and we hear quite a lot about it when it comes to women's health. Could you explain the difference between the two and how they both impact women?
Yeah, absolutely. There's actually three elements. There is burnout, there is stress that we've all heard of, probably all experienced. And burnout is when you've got emotional exhaustion. You feel depersonalized, a lack of sense of personal accomplishment, and you just feel exhausted. You have no drive, no motivation, you just feel empty. And when you're feeling like that, and you're feeling physically weak and mentally weak, and you've got these invisible loads, visible loads, you've got work, you've got family commitments, you've got caring commitments, burnout can be quite extreme. And when you start to feel that emotional exhaustion and that demotivation, you start questioning yourself of, who am I? Who am I anymore? Do I serve a purpose? Does anybody want me around them? And then in severe cases, you can start getting paranoia with that, which again then can lead on, which can be exacerbated by perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, and to the point it can cause quite severe mental health. Then you've got stress. The NHS in the cells say that stress is something that everyone feels at times, especially when dealing or changing with life challenges. And again, it can include anything in change, divorce, having to change, moving, children going to school. My stress levels really escalated with separation anxiety. And that was a mental health postnatal anxiety. And that really escalated and reared its head again, really, when my little one went to school. And I had to get talking therapy, I had to go on medication. So my stress levels became huge with my hormone imbalances. And your hormone imbalances and your stress and your burnout together, if they're not controlled and if they're not taken control of, and if they're not, you don't get professional help at a certain point, can be quite dangerous. And there's another one, and I don't know whether many people have heard of this. It's rust out. And rust out is when you're in what the word we'll all know as in a rut. When we in a cycle of getting up, doing the same thing, day in, day out, not achieving anything. Are you in a job where you get no satisfaction? You're feeling low with it anyway because of your hormones for whatever reason. You're feeling really low. You're feeling agitated, irritable. And with rust out, you're demotivated, you're bored, and you're unstimulated. And that in itself can cause low mood. It can cause depression. And it can cause an general overall feeling, again, of loss of identity. I used to be doing this. I used to be excited about that. But all these either hormonal changes, life events, something where you used to think achieving something else and making a difference, that's rust out, where you just feel flat. That flat, unstimulated feeling. And trying to hold it all together when you're feeling like that, and when you're not motivated, for example, to take your children out or be intimate with your husband or your partner, it can start feeling like you're starting to break. It can start feeling like you are losing your identity fully. Collectively and individually, we can make changes. We can talk about mental health. We can talk about menopause. We can talk about them intimate vaginal problems that are affecting us. And yes, the main aim striving to get positive mental health. And people think, well, what's the answers? What's the resolution? therapy, medication. I'm going to make major life changes. How many times I've woke up and said, I'm sick of feeling like this. I'm going to start a diet. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to go for a walk every day. Do I do it? Absolutely not. Big major life changes, therapy, medication. But actually, in real life, realistic, real women with these invisible wet loads, it's tiny. We start with smaller acts of care. And these smaller acts of care are realistic. They're time bound. They're measurable. The realistic goals that happen in real life that we're definitely going to do. And these where small solutions have big impacts.
So sometimes improving mental health doesn't necessarily start with big steps such as therapy. It starts small. What are some everyday acts of self-care that can make a meaningful difference?
There is lots of small steps. Yes, therapy does help. Some medications do help to stabilise hormones, mood. But there's things you can do in everyday life. One thing I teach and one thing I've been taught, them steps can start from waking up to going to bed. So as soon as I wake up in the morning, I think of 5 things I'm grateful for. And I know this might sound like a cliche, oh, she's talking out of a textbook, or oh, this is what mindfulness is, but it's true. I wake up, I open my eyes, and I'm grateful for the life I've got. I'm grateful for my little boy. I'm grateful for the people in my life. I'm grateful for what I've achieved with support of people in my life. And I'm grateful for kindness. And I know these sound, it's a mindfulness session, but these are the things that are real. This is the real things. I'm grateful for kindness. I'm grateful I've got my son. I'm grateful I've got my husband. I'm grateful for my surroundings. And I'm grateful just to be here, given this opportunity to share this with people. There's other things as well, is setting boundaries. I've had to teach myself to do this. Setting boundaries around your time and your energy and what you put your energy into. And there's a thing called paralysis by analysis. And paralysis by analysis means you overthink and you think about and overthink and you consider something so much, you paralyze your brain. It could be as little as, what should I do for tea? What should I do for tea? What should I do for tea? And you think and think and think. Your mind just thinks, what was I even thinking of? Or I don't even know what to do. I haven't even, your brain gets out of control and it just paralyzes. It could be that you're thinking, I really, really need to do something about my perimenopause. I really need to do it. What I need to do is, because if I don't do it, this is going to be affected. That's going to be affected. If I don't do that, it's going to have impact on that. But you don't do anything about it. You're analysing something so much, it paralyses your actual outcome. So it paralyses the positive outcome that it should have. So setting them boundaries around what you use your time and energy on, and focus on what is realistic, what is a priority, what isn't a priority, and what can wait. And making a list can do that, or having a diary. Taking time out to become really self-aware. I am very much into self-awareness, and having postnatal anxiety and life events that has happened to me personally, and talking to people in my work setting, friends, family, has really made me become self-aware and take control of what's important. It's a building block to recognising your strengths and weaknesses, and how you can overcome them weaknesses by using your strengths. And by recognising who you are, recognising your strengths, recognising your weaknesses. However, also recognising what opportunities you've got in your life to overcome them weaknesses, but what threats you might have in your life. That's called a SWOT analysis. You can overcome life's challenges. And when you use a tool such as SWOT, it can, if you go for an interview, they say what you're good at, and you use a paralysis of analysis, and you always say, what am I good at? What am I good at? Don't know what I'm good at. Someone says to you, what you're not good at. Human nature is, we go, well, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that, I'm not good at that. Using a SWOT analysis, using your strengths, actually digging deep and thinking, what am I good at? What is my strengths? Sitting down on your own, you write them down. You can see them, physically see them. Then your weaknesses. Building a tool and building on a tool that identifies your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities to come over them weaknesses, and what threats you might have in your life to stop you progressing, to stop you overcoming them weaknesses. Helps you build a stepping stone to overcome life problems, to overcome them negative feelings. As a result, that builds on your resilience levels. Now, if you've got good resilience levels, you can check in with your body and your mind. You will be able to overcome things that might affect your mental health better, because you are in control, you're taking control of you. And the other thing is, I do a lot of things around self-awareness, and I've done a personality type test, which is really effective. And an example of this was when I did my degree, and I left everything to the last minute, and my mental health got affected, putting pressure on myself of, you've left it till the last minute, you've left it till the last minute. And I developed negative feelings that stopped me progressing with my degree, because I was overanalyzing, you've left it till the last minute, you've left it till the last minute, to stop me progressing with my work, because I was overthinking, I've left this till the last minute, I'm leaving it till the last minute, I leave everything till the last minute. The outcome of leaving it till the last minute was good. My mental health, my mind was overtaken something which is psychological, because I was saying, I'm leaving this till the last minute. And the outcome was, the work was no different. It passed, it was fine. When I did a personality test, and then I expected me to be organised. I'm organised. I've always been the organised one. People have always told me and expected me to be the organised one. And I found I was leaving everything at the last minute. I was like, but I'm not a last minute person. Everybody's telling me I'm not a last person. I'm an organised person. And when I did my personality test, what came out of it is I work under pressure. And I am a last minute person. And my best results are when I work under pressure. And it reconnected me with my mind to say, you're all right. You've been beating yourself up for all these years for being a last minute person. When you're all right, it's how you function. But other people were affecting my mental health to say, you are not that person, you are not that person. Taking some time to check in with me about my self-awareness, my personality type, and me recognizing my strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats has built over the years, with lots of practice, a really high positive mental health resilience. Prioritising sleep and rest. Sleep is not a luxury. It's a necessity. It is a necessity as much as breathing. If you don't get sleep and rest, which can be massively interrupted and disturbed during hormonal fluctuations, you literally can't function. Of simply reaching out saying, you know what, I'm not all right, I'm not okay, I need help, I've lost control and I need help. Whether that's talking to a friend, a family member, your GP, or one of our professional educational staff at the Women's Health Clinic. There's someone to talk to.
So as we finally come to a close and mark World Mental Health Day, what's one message or reminder you'd like to leave our listeners with today?
I would like to leave the message that focusing on becoming mentally resilient and on your mental health is important. We live in such a high-speed, busy world, a very technology world now, and juggling invisible loads, like we've discussed, can be absolutely have an impact on a woman's mental health. The final message would be, in this high-speed, busy world we're living in today, and juggling invisible loads, if you don't have a healthy body and a healthy, happy life, you're not going to have that healthy mind. Because, as Elle Sommer quoted, a healthy body and a healthy, happy life grow out of a healthy, happy mind. And at the Women's Health Clinic, we can help support that in numerous ways. We have 3 different types of blood tests that we can offer you on our website. It's a simple finger prick test in the comfort of your own home. No tied appointments, no rush, no strict schedule. A finger prick test blood that you order online to look at your hormones, to look at your general wellbeing bloods, and in your space, in your time. We also offer a virtual menopause clinic where we provide a 45-minute consultation, virtual again, in the comfort of your own home, to discuss how you're feeling. And we give a professional and up-to-date advice pathway of care, which is about you and the practitioner. It's not the practitioner telling you, oh, you're that age, you're got that symptom, so you follow that protocol. This is holistic. We look at every element of your well-being, your physical, your social, your environment, your psychological. And we look every element to see where you need support. And it's a joint venture with you and the practitioner. And it's 45 minutes and not rushed. So what I would say there, as we mark World Mental Health Day today, one message or reminder we'd like you to leave with is put yourself first. Don't put help and support off. Don't get to that burnout, rust out level where you think there's no turning back. You take control, because as with menopause, you should be taking control of menopause. It shouldn't be taking control of you. And the same goes with mental health. You take control of it where possibly you can, with the small and the big things that have been discussed in this podcast. And I'd just like to say thank you for everyone, and I hope you've enjoyed it.